Hello, folks out there. This episode of the podcast is partnered by Audible. Greg, you know what I love about Audible?
What do you love about Audible,
I
John?
don't have to pick up a book anymore and carry it around with me. In fact, I carry it around in my phone, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. They literally keep thousands of titles right on your phone, accessible at any time when you're driving, when you're cooking, when you're mowing the lawn, changing a diaper, doesn't matter. It's all right there at your fingertips, John. They've got podcasts, they've got lectures, they've got some like health and wellness and like fitness series on there that if you just are looking for something to fill that gap, like you're not getting into a book right now, it's all there for you, man.
If you're a member, Greg, what's cool about it is you get 3 titles per month. The first one you can pick whatever you want. Like I've said, I'll probably start hitting up some of those health and wellness books. And then what's awesome is they have 2 Audible exclusives. Exclusives, folks. You can't get it anywhere else.
It's true. That is very true. So if you guys want to get on the Audible train, you can go to audibletrial.com/JATG. That stands for Johnny and the Greg. Hook yourself up with a 30-day free trial. No promises, no nothing. If you don't like it, which I can't imagine you're not going to like it, you can cancel at any time. But the great thing about that is the books you get during your free trial, or if at any time, those books are yours. Like you get to keep them. You can listen to them nonstop, anytime, all the time.
Sounds like a deal to me, man. So if you guys are smart, like I know you guys are, because you already listen to this podcast, sign yourself up, guys. What do you got to lose? It's 30-day free trial, and it's books, it's knowledge. Gotta drink it up.
It is. It is. So one more time, it is audibletrial.com/JATG.
Hello, everybody out there listening to Johnny and the Greg. Greg, this one was just 3 guys hanging back talking shop.
Yeah, it was. It's my buddy Marshall. He is our super fan. Catches most of our shows during his daily commute. Buddy of mine from back in the day, and he and I have kept in touch. And we said, "Well, do you want to be on the show?" Talked a lot about Wolverine.
Yeah, bub.
He's a big Wolverine fan. You and I had a discussion earlier this week about the recasting of Wolverine and who we think. And so that took up some time.
Yeah. So without further ado, everybody, Marshall Olsen. Enjoy. Hey guys, Marshall's here. It's Fan Appreciation Day.
And we're here with our one fan, Marshall.
Our one fan, Marshall, who happens to share our posts and happens to always give us I think this is how the kids say it. You slide into my DMs and you always tell me how we're doing, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Marshall, what's up, big guy?
Not much. Just today is Valentine's Day, like we were talking before, and I hope everyone out there had a nice Valentine's with their special someone. So I was lucky enough to be able to do that with mine and my family as well. So doing good.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Greg didn't celebrate at all, right? Greg was like, nah.
We never do. I mean, literally, and I did the first year we were dating. I made a big deal out of it. Met her outside her class with like roses and took her back to her apartment, like made her dinner.
Back to an apartment.
It was a random apartment.
Random. You don't mind, by the way, if we become in your apartment, yeah?
But no, I like made her dinner, showed her I knew how to cook for as much as a college guy knew how to cook, and
like macaroni and cheese and hot dogs.
Nope, I made a lasagna. I made
ramen.
Yep, I made Mama's lasagna, and turned out well. Had a bad experience with the wine bottle because we figured out she did not have a corkscrew, and so I had to run across the street to the local liquor store that was right next to the Pizza Hut. You remember that one? We're all Whitewater guys. We remember.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't? Okay. Well,
no, I don't have a good memory, evidently.
Well, yeah. So I ran over there, got like a cheap ass, plastic corkscrew, and tried to open this, already mangled cork in a bottle of Chianti. And I like,
Chianti.
yeah, because someone said that's a good wine. They were lying.
Doesn't,
Popped it
Yeah,
up.
that's an acquired taste.
Hannibal
Yeah,
Lecter
Hannibal.
appreciated it, didn't
It's
he?
the
A nice Chianti.
Yeah.
I think
Bava
because I'm not a wine guy. I mean, I think Chianti's like a type of wine, not like a brand name. And I just
I don't know.
bought.
You kind of whine a lot.
Fuck you. Just the bottom shelf wine that I could afford. But anyway, so the cork comes out, the bottle drops, and physics works. So the bottle hit the floor, the wine shot up out of the bottle onto the ceiling of a DLK apartment, and it stained it, and they did not get their security deposit back.
Wow.
Well, good thing it was a random apartment then.
Yep, totally
Hey,
random.
good thing the whole Valentine's Day ended up paying off. I mean, you married her, kids,
It did.
family.
Yep, worked
Yeah.
out, and we got a great story of the one time we celebrated Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
All right,
Whitewater's
Marshall.
a good place for meeting our brother Have. So yeah, that's where I met my wife as well.
Oh, at a barbecue place?
No, in Whitewater.
Oh, in Whitewater?
Yeah.
I didn't know you went to Whitewater. Same time as all of us?
For a short time, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean for a short time? You ended up not staying there?
Marshall, I believe, is 2 years younger than me, 2 classes younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah,
in terms of that.
98.
Yep. So that's, and so, yeah. Well, I don't need to tell your story. You went straight to Whitewater, correct?
Yeah, just went after I graduated high school and big old Broadhead, and yeah, moved there and went to Whitewater for a couple years. Yeah, didn't start out as a music major and didn't really pan out too much. So just couldn't really find anything I really wanted to dive into. So just kind of put on the back burner for the time being, and then kind of worked at the local Century grocery store there while my wife Erica, she got her degree in marketing and there. So that's where I met her there, is at Whitewater.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Take
get to
your
the
time
fun
there.
stuff. Forget your family stuff, guys. Let's get to the fun stuff here, okay? Here's the fun stuff. Marshall,
Yeah.
Greg asked me this
Uh-huh.
this Saturday morning. He asked me, recast Wolverine. I was like, what?
Now,
Ooh.
let's be clear to the folks at home. Marshall, you are a huge Wolverine fan.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
For those of you that aren't watching on YouTube, and please go watch on YouTube so that they get to like us. He's got 2 Wolverine prints I can see in the background. He's got a Funko Pop. I know one of his arms is adorned with a picture of Wolverine. So, So I thought that would be a good topic for us to discuss, because Hugh Jackman is not coming back. I mean, he has made that statement. He's out.
Yeah.
Nor should he.
Yeah, I mean,
he's done his time.
Yeah, he did his time. What was that? He did like 20 years of Wolverine?
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, the first X-Men film was what, 99 or 2000?
Yeah.
And as I'm saying that, I'm looking it up.
I would think 2000, 2001. It was, Greg, I remember you and I were roommates and you slow-moed the trailer. Maybe we used to freaking download trailers on our computers. And he was breaking it down frame by frame. I remember that. So it had to be that time.
It was 2000 it came out. And it was that one scene where they got like the camera and it's like next to his eye and you see the one middle claw like slowly kind of come out. And we just thought that was amazing. We're like, oh, they're actually going to do it. He's going to have claws that pop out and everything.
Yeah. It was probably would you say that was probably the most successful movie that kickstarted this whole genre?
Well,
I think so, yeah.
Possibly. I don't know if I say that completely, because a lot of it is contributed to Blade, like what you're talking about.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Blade came out, I
that.
believe, 97, 98, maybe 99. I can look that up in a second, too.
That's true.
But that was the idea with Blade, and especially with Blade 2. They said, we can make a superhero movie work if we get the right people involved.
Yeah.
And that was kind of one of the big things to kick everything off.
Yeah. So going back to the recasting of Wolverine, I guess would you say you were reading an article, Greg, and what?
Yeah, I mean, so the idea is that Hugh Jackman is 52 years old and has said, I mean, prior to Wolverine, he was a song and dance man. He loved Broadway. He loved show tunes. I mean, they found him on a whim because Dougray Scott, who was originally supposed to be Wolverine, couldn't make it because he had Mission Impossible 2 reshoots. And so he couldn't be Wolverine. And they said, well, there's this guy on Broadway doing Oklahoma, and he was Curly in Oklahoma, and he's going to be available. Let's try him out. And it was kind of working, kind of not working. And then Hugh Jackman, did some different things and made it work.
Yeah.
And, but he's 52 and he doesn't want to do the Marvel workout anymore. I mean, he's certainly fit, but when you see him in Wolverine, the first solo Wolverine film where he like pops out of the adamantium tank, they said with Dak Shepard, I was listening to a podcast and he talked about that, and I think Hugh Jackman was at like 3% body fat.
Yeah,
at that point.
Insane.
You can't even sustain that in reality.
No, you can't.
That's okay, good. And we got that shot. Now you can eat a hamburger. That's pretty much what that
but
is.
A hamburger would probably make him sick.
Yeah. At first, probably, without a doubt.
So he's not up for that anymore. Can't say I blame him. So the question is, I mean, we know the X-Men are eventually going to pop up in the MCU, be it through WandaVision or Doctor Strange in the
Have you been watching WandaVision, Marshall?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we watch every Friday as soon as we can with the kids. Yeah.
Good.
Well,
One topic at a time.
Spoiler alerts. Spoiler alerts are coming.
Good. One topic at a time, John.
Yes.
So with that, and we know it's coming, who do you cast? Like, who out of today's actors do you cast?
Jesus. I don't know. It's, talk about Tom out there. I don't know. It's tough. Like I said, it's a huge role to fill. It's like,
yeah.
Where do you go?
I don't
with
envy
it,
this person at all, because they're either going to have to, they're going to have to make it so different.
Is it, guys? Is it really hard? I mean, think about this for a second. Wasn't there a time that we sat there and thought, no one's going to play the Joker like Jack did? And then Heath came in and we were like, oh, you can go this route with the Joker. Oh, yeah. So maybe someone's going to attack it that way.
Well, I would like to see a younger actor take on Wolverine.
Okay, great point. Yeah. So, Marshall, I'm going to ask you. You being in our circle, the definitive Wolverine fan, okay? So I'm going to ask you, who do you want? I've always pictured. No, I'll stop what I pictured. What do you want in a Wolverine on screen?
Like I said, I haven't really thought about it because to me, there's no one else that can really fill that spot. But I'm actually up for anything at this point. It's gonna be like I said. You'd have nobody come in like Heath Ledger came in and did the Joker and boom, you have a perfect Joker. But so in that Wolverine role, I don't know. It's to me, I don't have anyone perfectly in mind when I think about it because, like I said, I just always have that Hugh Jackman in there thinking that he's the man. So it's tough on my end.
Greg, do you have anybody? Well, I'm going to ask. Do you have anybody that when they cast them, that you would be like, oh fuck no, I don't want that guy. I mean, or anything like that.
Levin.
Okay, yeah. There's one. But because I think eventually that's gonna happen. I mean, someone will have that. Whoever they recast, there's plenty of nerds out there going to be like, no, he can't do it. And I think one of my guys that I'd like to name is probably in that camp. But
okay, so here's how I look at Wolverine, Marshall. He needs to be a muscle hamster. Like Hugh Jackman is like 6'4".
Yeah,
dude. He's a big, intimidating dude. He's a big, tall dude. And you get him ripped, he's like, whoa. But Wolverine, from what I've always understood, and there's this great picture I have in my head right now where he's on top of a bar table, having the claws pointed right at the Hulk.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I picture, and he's this little fella. He's this little guy. Like,
in the comics, he is short.
Yeah. Yep. So he's short. So I want somebody that's a muscle hamster. Like
You
I
want
want,
somebody to fit that.
yeah,
that.
because I think at first, if you were to walk into a bar, like I'm setting a scene here, if you walk into a bar and you see that guy, you're thinking, what? Like, get a haircut.
Yeah.
Who is this little shorty dude? Right? And he
Yeah.
pops out the claws. Now, I'm not talking about like Tyrion short. Wolverine's not that.
No, he's not.
Mhm.
But he's like Tom Cruise, Tony
Right.
Stark tall. Like,
Well,
actually,
and
Stark's
he's
like 6 foot, I'm thinking. But the real actor that played Tony Stark, I think he's like 5'7".
Yeah.
RDJ's not tall.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. I mean, we've gotten so used now, and it's almost like I don't know if the comics have abandoned this of him being short because I haven't read X-Men or Wolverine in a long time, but the film version of Wolverine certainly abandoned his stature, and they just
Mhm.
went, well, Jackman nails the role, and he's tall, so we're just gonna not make short jokes, and they just kind of went with that.
So I'm Marshall. Is that something you would want? Do you think you'd want the short little muscle hamster that is Wolverine?
It's a good term. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to trademark that. But no, if they can be more true to his comic book, physique, I'm all for it.
Well, I did a little research, so I'm going to share my screen here.
Okay, Marshall, I had an
And-
idea. I had an idea before. Or no, go ahead. I'm sorry, Greg. Go ahead. I didn't know you.
As I bring it up, you go ahead and talk
Okay.
about your idea.
So my idea was, okay, see how WandaVision's kind of, all right, here's the spoiler alerts, people. Wanda is bringing people from different multiverses, or she's being coerced, or she's being manipulated to do so, or somebody's siphoning her power to do this, okay?
Mhm.
However WandaVision is going to end. But it seems like I thought, since Hugh Jackman died, she can't bring him from that universe. He died unless she brings him from a. Anyway, Hugh Jackman's not coming, so I don't even want to talking about that. But what about Mel Gibson as Old Man Logan? Shut up.
I was. Well, honestly, I read the part of the Old Man Logan series book, so
Did you like
if
it?
you're
Or
going
no?
off of, I loved it. I don't want to get into that part of it because I obviously seen the movie Logan and love that one, but I was kind of hoping they would take more from that comic book storyline and put that into the movie. But it was still a nice tribute to Logan and Hugh Jackman, ending the character Wolverine. But that's a whole different topic. But I would think visually, I would think he would definitely fit that Old Man Logan, character, that look. Mel Gibson, but I'm a huge Mel Gibson fan, but like I said, he's got the look down, I think. So.
And he does. I mean, in his later years, he's packed on a lot of just thick muscle.
Yeah.
And I agree. He would actually be really good. Like seeing Mel Gibson in an Old Man Logan movie, I would be really cool with. I don't want to see Mel Gibson in the MCU as Wolverine. Does
Why
that
is
make
that?
sense?
Yeah.
No.
I just because I want to see a younger Wolverine, someone
To
that's
carry
gonna,
it out longer.
someone's going to stick around like for the next 20 years if they want.
That's true. And I think that's what has to happen.
Or in Marvel terms, we're going to give you 3 Avengers films and a standalone film, maybe 2 standalone films. I mean, if it works out, I like that idea. And I think with Mel Gibson, just the whole concept of it, you're going to run into like a salary cap. You're going to run into possibly, and I'm trying to give a little grace here, but possibly some issues with an actor.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And
Yeah.
I like, you watch Get the Gringo. No, not Get the Gringo. What am I thinking of? Oh shit. He did a movie where he was in prison. I got to look it up. Because it's an absolutely fantastic movie.
Yeah.
He's a guy who gets put into a Mexican prison, pretty much run by a cartel. And it is a great movie. And
What about Tom Hardy?
Tom
I always
Hardy's
thought
great,
he'd be great, but isn't he Eddie Brock?
But yeah,
I've seen his name pop up a lot, as for a possible candidate. But like I said, he's doing the whole Venom shtick right now, so that'd be tough to pull off.
Especially
It is
if they're going to share, especially if they're going to share that universe with the MCU. I feel like there's this storm coming where it's like they're just going to open up everything and say, hey, Wanda did it. Wanda did it. Wanda did it.
Could be. Or I think even more, Wanda did something that's going to play into the Doc Strange movie.
Oh no, that's for
I think
sure. That's been
that's
told.
all. Yeah, I think that probably ties into the
Yeah.
next Doc Strange movie.
I'd be
Because
very shocked.
then honestly, you could have Human Torch Chris Evans meet Captain America Chris Evans. I don't think they're going to do that.
No,
I just
but
don't.
I'd be very, from what I understand, all right, and I don't know if I'm getting this right or not, but that was always the plan. Now, WandaVision wasn't supposed to come out first. It was Black Widow and then Falcon and Winter Soldier, then WandaVision,
Mm-hmm.
from what I understood. And then that led immediately into Doctor Strange 2, and I think that's because we're going to get a cameo. I think Strange is going to come in at the end of this and go, Wanda, we need to talk. Like,
Yeah.
you're messing stuff up here.
Huh.
Maybe.
Okay.
Who knows?
So
Yeah.
I got this up. Here's my little rundown because I did some homework because I had some time on Saturday morning. So let me share my screen for those of you that can't see it. Too bad for you. We'll describe it for you.
I get to see it this time. Woo!
All right, you got it?
This guy.
Yep.
So that is Jared Kesso. He is the star of the Canadian sitcom Letterkenny.
Oh, okay.
And so his
he's
name
Canadian. Okay.
his name has been tossed around, but when you talk about a muscle hamster, that's not it.
Those are two muscle hamsters right there, folks.
Yeah. This is him. I think he was on in like a werewolf movie or something like that. But he's got some rip to him. He's his dad was a professional hockey player.
Okay.
And he's got that. I mean, you put that physique into the Marvel workout program, but I think he's a little tall, so you do have that.
Yeah.
But I a little bit of the I think he's got a good because he squints a lot in Letterkenny to some comedic effect. But I think if you put that into like a Wolverine type role, I think it could work out.
That's another thing. He needs to be pissed off a lot, like grouchy.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think Kessel would be cheap, which makes him pretty doable in terms of
the long term.
For the long term, like his salary will go up per film, but to get him established, I think would be pretty easy. And he's kind of got a bit of a following already. All right. Then we got this guy.
Oh, I know him.
Taron Egerton. His name has been attached. I don't know, attached in that fans wouldn't mind seeing him. He can pull off action because we've seen that in the Kingsman films.
Kingsman, yeah, those are good.
And he's a good actor. Like
he is. He's pretty talented to pull off Elton John.
Yeah,
and
do it well. I mean,
yes.
he can carry a lot of emotional pieces with him.
I think he is a shorter guy too, as well. So
and he's short. Yeah, we got that going for us.
I don't like this one.
You don't like this one?
No.
This is it Scott Eastwood? Son of Clint Eastwood. He's been in a couple films.
Yep.
Well, actually, he's an actor. He's been in a lot of films. The ones that I think I've seen him in,
Fast and the Furious, Suicide Squad.
He wasn't in Suicide Squad, was he?
Yes, he was. That's the actual picture of him in Suicide Squad. He's watching Harley Quinn undress right now.
That's not Rick Flag.
No, that's not Rick Flag. Correct. But he's another part. That's the problem I have with him. That's the problem I have with him. I've never seen him carry anything. He's never seemed to have carried a role. And I don't understand that.
He had a decent. I mean, the movie wasn't great, but Pacific Rim 2, he had a role in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a look to him. I think he can channel a little bit of that Eastwood intensity.
Yep.
But you're absolutely right, John. We haven't seen him in any kind of star vehicle.
Yeah, no depth. I don't know. I don't know. I've listened to him on the Joe Rogan podcast. He seems like a very cool, actually very down to earth. I guess Clint Eastwood was quite the father in terms of like, just because I'm Clint Eastwood doesn't mean you're going to like live off of me. So that's made him very humble, very appreciative of his work ethic. But that's why I don't like it, Greg, is because I don't know if he has the depth. And like look, guys, like it or not, out there who are listening and thinking, "Come on, it's Wolverine. It's a comic book character. It can't be that much depth." This guy has
Oh,
a
man.
lot of depth to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
You've
been
got to
through
be
a
able
lot.
you got to be able to, even if they're not going to show it in the film, you have to be able to look like you have layers and
Yeah.
layers of history and just shit that you're dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you don't sleep well. You don't. This is such an interesting one. This is such an interesting one.
I think this is the one that people are going to be like, no.
Oh, that's me.
But
yeah.
but I mean, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, that's a good.
And
picture,
ladies and
Greg.
gentlemen, we are talking about Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, Harry Potter himself, folks.
Harry, see, and that is the thing that will make the nerds jump out of their skin. Be like, Harry fucking Potter can't play Wolverine. I'm like, have you seen this guy's other films that are not Harry Potter?
Hey, Greg, have you seen that one where he's like with guns or something like that? He's like,
yes, Guns Akimbo. I have seen it. It is a pretty good film.
Okay, all right.
It's in the same kind of grindhouse, well, what's his name? Rodriguez.
Yeah, okay.
It's in the same vein as those kind of films, but I watched
That's
it.
a really cool picture of Wolverine, by the way.
Yeah, it's Joe Jusko, I think, is the artist on that one.
Looks like his style, yeah.
But I think Radcliffe could pull it off. I mean, Horns. If you haven't seen Horns, go watch Horns. That's a great film.
Here's what I like about this actor. He has stepped out. If you've given him a chance, like same with Robert Pattinson. Everybody freaked out when they found out he was the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I know there's a little emo Batman that people aren't really into, but I think that guy is going to take, like, I see Daniel here. I could see him taking some serious chances that would pay off, if that makes any sense. I could see this. You know what I actually see him as more? Puck from Alpha Flight.
Yes,
right?
I see it. I'm just laughing because, like, Alpha Flight, if they could get Alpha Flight into a movie, you know that the MCU is reaching deep.
Yeah,
to bring in Alpha Flight.
Yeah, I know. But I just see him. He's gonna have to really he has the chops. He does for sure. He has the chops. I think he does. He could probably pay the depth. He's gonna have to really work his ass off. Now, I was one of the people that when Heath Ledger is the Joker, the dude from A Knight's Tale, he's the Joker, and he blew me away. So I've always learned from that point on that I'm going to give everybody a shot until they show me. Like Jared Leto, I was so excited, and then I saw that Joker, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. See, and that to me, I don't know. That to me, that's like a director's choice.
Yeah, I agree.
That's so like the director had to be like, even if it was Leto's idea, a good director would have said, hey man, look, I appreciate your creativity and I think I see what you're trying to pull off here, but I think we're going to go in like a different direction, something more that the fans can relate to. That should have been the conversation with Jared Leto when he's like, I want to give the Joker grills. No.
Did you have you guys seen the new the Snyder trailer that came out?
Didn't watch it.
No, okay. I see it's out there, but I haven't watched it yet either.
There's a scene at the end. You know how they always do like these last second scenes on a trailer?
Sure.
It has Jared Leto in it.
Yeah, I've seen the still shot.
Yeah, he looks pretty weird. Like,
yeah, he looks like more in the lines of the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah,
is one I can tell. Yeah. Now, the one actor I couldn't find a picture of him next to a Wolverine picture, which is why I didn't bring it up. And I think he goes against my young man Logan concept, but right in line with the muscle hamster is Scott Conn.
Oh, you know what Scott Conn is?
What's he been in? The name sounds familiar, but
Ocean's 11. He's one of the brothers, like the short, stocky one. He was in Varsity Blues.
Casey Affleck. He's like that guy's brother.
Yeah,
Casey Affleck. Yeah.
Okay.
Tweeter from Varsity Blues.
Yeah, I remember him from the Ocean's 11 movies. Yeah,
No, not Varsity Blues. Not Varsity. Yeah, I'm
Uh,
sorry. You're right. Varsity
yeah,
Blues. My
yeah.
fault. I was thinking the other one, Friday Night Lights.
Right. He had a pretty good run also in the Hawaii Five-O reboot.
Yes.
And he's played a cop on a couple of different things since then. But you want to talk about a muscle hamster. That guy, I mean, sure, he's over 5 foot, but not much, and just thick. So that'd be interesting if you could bring that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there's lots of possibilities. Like Johnny was saying too, I'd put some in there and we'll see what happens. Could be the one and could not be the one. So
I think what's going to happen is they're not going to get a big star. I think what they're going to do is it's going to be the same thing with Hugh Jackman. They're going to find some dude we've never heard of, and we're going to go, who? And then who knows? But
there is a guy, and I will point out with save for Daniel Radcliffe, I was mostly looking, or what came up in my research were like American actors. So one guy that came up a couple times, and I couldn't really find, I found text, but I couldn't find a picture of him. And I can't remember his name. He's a Middle Eastern guy. But somebody really like Keanu, because Keanu Reeves came out a couple months ago and said, I always wanted to play Wolverine, but they had a guy. And now I'm too old. So I'm not going to even put my name in
no,
the hat.
yeah, isn't that dude like 6'5"?
Keanu Reeves? Is
Isn't
he? He's tall.
He's a
You're right. He's
big, tall guy.
But he mentioned this other actor who I believe is an Indian actor, and yeah, the guy's already completely. He's like an action star in Bollywood. He's one of their action stars, and I don't know. I mean,
Hey, hang on. Can we stop about Let's talk about Bollywood for a second. Is Bollywood for real, Greg, or is that like a nickname we've given it?
I don't know how they got that nickname, but it's for real. Like
but
they,
what I'm saying
they put out legitimate films.
right? I know, but they put out legit films. But every time I see a legit film, it always looks like bullshit. It's some of the stuff I put your face on in that face app.
Right, but the Reface app, that actor, which I believe is Salman Khan, I believe is his name. He's like an international star. Like
So is David Hasselhoff.
But he's up there with like Jackie Chan in terms of popularity, where
Really?
everybody, yes, we know about Jackie Chan now because of like his like the Rush Hour films, and
I remember him from Rumble in the Bronx, but I actually remember him because I actually remember him from a treasure hunting movie where he got into this giant plastic ball and went down a hill.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I remember that.
But like when Rumble,
I know which movie you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I remember seeing that one.
When Rumble in the Bronx came out,
yeah,
I mean, we were just like, it was like our introduction to Jackie Chan, and I have a stupid amount of Jackie Chan knowledge because I did a paper on him in college. But he was already, I mean, he was the Tom Cruise of the Asian film market.
But I knew of Jackie Chan. I've never heard of this Solomon Khan dude.
Well, but what I'm trying to get to the point of is like there are stars out there like that are known around the world, but because we're ignorant Americans, they don't let their stuff kind of permeate. It's getting a little different now with like Netflix and things of that nature. But like,
America, fuck yeah.
I saw a great TikTok of that the other day. But yeah, just that idea that there are a lot of people out there that we just don't get.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're gonna get somebody like that. I heard for a while, and this was about 15 years ago, people were throwing out Robert De Niro as Wolverine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, people will throw out Danny DeVito too, and I still don't see.
Whoa.
He would be a good Puck, not a Wolverine. Maybe a Puck.
Maybe Puck.
Yeah,
more like a Mojo.
Marshall, do you read the current X-Men comic books or anything? Do you keep up with that, or?
I haven't. I can't remember what era of the Wolverine comic I stopped collecting, but I haven't actually bought a comic book in a while. I bought a few graphic novels from another D&D podcast that I listened to, The Adventure Zone, but certainly like comic books, I haven't really collected anything, to be honest. Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Both of the major universes, I'm talking Marvel and DC, have gone through so much change. Like if you were a fan, 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Barely
you wanna
recognize
try to-
your heroes now.
Yeah, you want to try to jump
Yeah.
in now. They're referencing things. You're like, what happened? I mean, and I stopped reading DC. I was a hardcore DC guy for a long time. Like, I have a run of Superman comics from kind of the late 80s straight through like 2010. Like, and I'm talking all of them.
Damn.
It was
Yeah, there's just so many different
he was my
Wolverine
guy.
titles out there. It's like
Well, the reason I asked
where do I
that-
dive in?
The reason I asked that is because I hear it's fantastic, and what they did was they went back to the roots of the X-Men. So like Jean Grey's in her old original costume, a little updated, but it's the old one. And X-Men, Xavier can walk, and he has like a Cerebro helmet with an X over his face, so you don't see his face. Have you guys seen that artwork?
I have, and I believe that's still referencing something that was probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh, but okay, because I'm not. Look, I like the X-Men, but I haven't picked up a comic book like that in a long time, and I think
Right
it was
now
called.
they're doing a big crossover right now called like Executioner Swords or X of Swords, and there's like
Yeah, yep.
the legendary swords. Wolverine has one, and it is the only sword that can kill this whole line of mutants that has like the healing factor. So like he killed Sabretooth with it like a number of years ago.
All right, I'm gonna try and share this
And you
picture.
have to behead them is kind of the
Of
so it
course.
becomes Highlander.
So
Always go for the head.
I'm referring to this. Oh, that might have messed it up.
Yeah,
Right here. See these guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the old Jean Grey and Magneto, Wolverine, but this is Professor X.
Yeah, and that's
And the reason I
that
bring this up,
article is August 2nd, 2019.
yeah, the reason I bring it up is because you feel that they might go in that direction when we bring these X-Men.
No, and I'll tell you why. Because that version of the X-Men right there is
Yeah.
not recognizable to a mass market.
In mass market, you're talking about us.
No, I mean anybody. I'm talking about like my mom.
Okay.
Or my brother who would watch an action film, could give a shit about superhero films,
Okay.
and they want to try to appeal to him to come see a movie.
Do you think they're gonna go with the whole what's the word I'm looking for? The whole are they bringing the people from First Class basically back? Like,
I doubt it.
okay,
Well,
just
they could.
Pedro
They could.
or
James
Petro,
James McAvoy, I could see wanting to hang out and be Professor X for
but
a
not
while.
Fassbender. Is that his name? Fassbender? Michael.
Yeah, Michael
Michael
Fassbender.
Fassbender? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
did see
know
it.
Jennifer Lawrence won't do it. I
No,
think she thinks she's
no.
too much now.
No.
I saw an interview, and it was the guy that plays Pietro. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. In the new, he's playing Pietro now.
God, I
And,
just heard it too.
but it's him, the girl who plays Storm,
Mhm.
and the kid from Ready Player One who plays Cyclops.
Yes. Okay. I've seen
And-
this.
And they're like the interviewers.
Evan Peters. Evan
Evan
Peters.
Peters.
Peters,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you. And they asked the three of them. They're like, so like anything about coming back or like doing different projects or something like that. I think this was after
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. And you see him go like he's gonna answer, and the other two are like, no, nothing. I mean, they haven't asked us or anything like that. And you see him kind of like side eyeing everything, and you're like, oh, did he know? Did he know at that time? They're like, well, here's our plans, and here's what we want to do.
Or maybe
Yeah.
maybe they only talked to him.
It could. Well, that would be
Yeah,
like,
right.
hey, we're going to be
Yeah.
doing this WandaVision show. Here's the idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. So speaking of WandaVision, Marshall, what do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you like where it's going? What are your theories? Is it Mephisto? Is it?
Well, first of all, yeah, it's first couple episodes were kind of slow, but you kind of have to lay that groundwork down. But every episode, man, it just gets better and better. It's those damn cliffhangers. It kills you.
Yeah.
Like I said, we watch it with my wife and our son Logan. But yeah, he always comments about, man, just leave it a cliffhanger like that. But Yeah, I know Mephisto's name's out there. Nightmare possibly, which I think Nightmare would be a nice connection to the next Doctor Strange movie. So, but you know, I always kind of go online after I watch the episode and just kind of see what all different theories are out there, and it's just, you know, it's been a great job, and it's to have it released on that Disney Plus platform too has been awesome too. But yeah, we've been really enjoying it, and I think there's only maybe a few episodes left. I think.
I know there's 9. There are 9.
So we're on 6, so we get 3 more. 3 more weeks.
Yeah,
we get 3 more weeks, and then I think it's a week off, and then we go right into Falcon, Winter Soldier. Yeah. And that's going to be 6 episodes, but the episodes are going to be longer.
Yes, good. Because you know what they do a real good job of? First off, I actually appreciate the idea of Disney not just throwing it all up at once, that they give us every week. Kind of like that. I don't know if that's the old me that's just, I'm used to wait till next week, you know, versus Netflix. I think they smart. Just download it all. And I agree with you, Greg, because you just watch, they could binge it and cancel the subscription.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
it's been great.
It gives you something to talk about. I mean, and I'm with Marshall. I sit down. I mean, my family and I've kind of set the precedent. Like Friday night, 6 p.m. It's dinner time, and we are watching WandaVision. And we're usually, because we live in the upper Midwest, we're getting fish fry from somewhere, we're ordering from somewhere or something, and it is. Okay, go get the food. Well, what time is it? It's got to be here by 6 because we're going to sit down and watch WandaVision.
Yeah. And it's been great, you know, like with us, you know, like our son, he just turned 12 a couple weeks ago, and you know, his name is Logan, you know, Wolverine, so he got the name Logan. But
really? Catch that?
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's just
no.
It's just fun talk. It's just fun hearing him talk about, you know, the comic books and him getting into like the history of different characters too. And he's watched most of the Wolverine movies. He hasn't watched Logan yet. That'll be a little bit later down the road. But yeah.
I don't want to see Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not only that, Marshall, do you have to sit there and when you're explaining this to him, are you like, yeah, Wolverine's really cool. Just wait till you see what he can really do. Like when he gets really hardcore.
Yeah, he knows he gets pretty I would say grotesque, but violent, we'll say. But he knows, you know, what his character is about. But like I said, he'll see that a little bit later as he gets a little bit older on that side of things. So, but yeah, just having that conversation is kind of cool. And our daughter, she could care less, but it's fun hearing him talk about it too. So
yeah, you want to hear something really funny? My daughter's 2 years old, and she's come up to me several times in the last couple of weeks when we're about to watch TV. And she goes, because we've tried to set this precedent that it's family time to sit down and watch the show, you know, watch a show, right? Usually on Friday nights. Mm-hmm. And she goes, are we watching Ray Donovan? I'm like, no, honey, we're never watching Ray Donovan again. We're never doing that with you around ever again.
One time.
Yeah, one time we watched it, and we noticed for the first time that she was actively into it. And we thought, uh-oh. Like, that's not good. That's not,
this is not the show to be into.
Yeah.
Have you seen Ray Donovan, Marshall?
No, I know of it, but I haven't watched it, no.
Okay. They don't hold anything back in Ray Donovan, right? And it's kind of like they put stuff in there to get you, just like shock value. They just start putting stuff in there to make you go, oh, okay, you know? And we just started noticing that she was watching that, and how we noticed it was we were sitting there watching a pretty intense scene, and she goes, he wasn't listening. And I'm like, oh goodness, you were. Okay, so we got to shut this off and watch Married at First Sight or something ridiculous that she just loses interest in and moves on with her life.
Somebody's learning mob tactics at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Beating up her teddy bear. You weren't listening.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
We got ways to make it talk.
Yeah.
I kind of, speaking of fun parenting things where you watch stuff around your kids. So there's a movie out called, and it's actually a great movie. It's a lot of fun. Called The Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
And it at first I thought it was like one of these low budget, like Mystery Science Theater style movies, but it's not. It actually's got a pretty good budget. There's some people in it that you're going to recognize. And so I'm like, my kids are going to laugh at a lot of this. My older two are going to laugh. And so they're, both practically high school. One is on the cusp. And I was like, okay, well, we'll watch it. But I'm like, we'll watch it, but we'll watch it on, I think it was the TNT app. So I'm like, it's TNT. It'll be edited like they would on cable. No.
Really?
Yep. I mean, at first I'm like, well, they left some of the language things in there, but when you have an 8th grader and a sophomore, like they're hearing swear words like more than you. So I wasn't all that worried about that. But
were they playing dumb like they'd never heard those words before? Or
no, we're past that part. I think at one point
Yeah.
We were watching some other movie and my wife was like, they can hear that, and they're like, yeah, we hear worse than that, like on the bus every day. And you go, on the bus? That's all the neighborhood kids. And they're like, yeah. But I mean, there's one point where there's like some exposed breasts going on, and I was like, oh, they showed that. I didn't think they would show that. I'm watching it on the app, but no, it was just the uncut version.
Oh, really?
Totally of the film.
Wow.
That being said, you guys gotta watch it because it's fun.
Okay. All right.
Put that on the list.
Put it on the list. Yeah, absolutely. How are you handling quarantine there, Marshall?
Like everyone else, I've been fortunate enough to be, able to keep working throughout the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
I'm out on the road I think like you, Johnny, right? You're always out visiting stores, correct?
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm out there driving the road and selling some produce to stores. So yeah, but it's been tough. We're pretty low key here on our end, and we try to limit, family gatherings and a lot of Zoom calls, like everyone else. I think that's going right now. But yeah, it's crazy. Driving throughout a lot of the state, you get to see how different people are reacting to the whole situation. Caring about it, not caring about it. That type of thing. So yeah, it's I said just taking it day by day and just waiting for our time to get the shot. So we'll get that knocked out when it's available to us. So
yeah,
just watch a lot of shows, while we're at home, and movies. So it helps pass the time as well. So,
is there any show that you stumbled upon that you didn't think you'd like, and all of a sudden you're hooked on it?
Well, we get into a lot of comedies, so we've been watching. I watched Speechless. Have you guys heard that? One's on ABC.
Oh yeah.
No. Is it good?
That was really good. I think it only had 2 seasons, but
Right.
yeah, it's got Mimi Driver in it, and forget the actor's name. He was the guy with the list, but it sounded like Elmer Fudd on Big Bang Theory.
That used to be on ABC.
Willis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And they have a son that's in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
he's got cerebral palsy. I
Okay,
believe.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was a big deal in my circles, obviously being in the disability field. But
Uh-huh.
I mean, the actor, it's not an actor acting like he has cerebral palsy. It is a actor who actually has cerebral palsy. acting.
Yeah. But yeah, that was
That was hilarious.
great-
It was a great show.
that was a great show. Yeah, like I said, only 2 seasons to it, but that one and the Blacklist. We really got into the Blacklist. We've been
Yes.
watching.
That can
for
get
that
you quick. Yeah. And
Oh,
then it
man.
kind of gets. I think it gets a little too where you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
I find that with any show that you binge, though, like you get to a point where you just hit that low point
yeah.
Mhm.
and you're like, I talked to a guy last night. He said that they've been binge watching Scrubs, and Scrubs is a great show.
Yes, it
But
is.
when you binge Scrubs,
It's all
you
the same show. It's
Well,
all the
it's-
same episode.
there is a lot of repetitive stuff. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
jokes
Yeah.
are the same. But then you realize
Right.
that like every show has some major soul crushing death because because it's a hospital show,
Yeah.
and that gets depressing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You make it through like half a season, you're like, man, everybody
Yeah.
dies on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been nice to going back and watching older shows too. This one was on Fox, I believe, but it's called Lie to Me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know that. Is that interesting? Is that good? Tim Robbins?
I
Tom
enjoyed it.
Robbins?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Tim Robbins,
Is it Tim? Okay.
I think, who
Or
played
Tim
Abomination.
Robbins is the Shawshank guy, isn't he?
No, it's oh shoot. You guys are back computer, but I can take a look too.
Roth.
But
Roth.
Tim Roth.
Tim Roth.
Tim Roth.
Tim Roth, yeah.
That's it. Tim
But,
Robbins.
yeah, he's
Tim Robbins is the dude from Shawshank
Shawshank.
Redemption, and right, the guy that's married to Susan Sarandon.
yeah.
I know his last name's Robbins. I'm not sure what the first name is.
Yeah, me convinced.
I apologize, sir, if you ever come on this podcast.
You're right.
But
It's
yeah.
Tim Robbins. Yeah.
Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But he's a doctor, but he specializes in like reading, able to read people's faces, whether or not they're telling the truth. It's yeah, it's a kind of a cool science. You know how far off it is from the real kind of practice, but yeah, it's some cool stories. So yeah, it's another good older show that's it's fun to watch. Again, that one only had 3 seasons as well. So.
Yeah. You know what show I got into? Cobra Kai.
Really?
Oh,
I
haven't watched
so
that one.
stupidly into that show. It's unbelievable.
I watched all of the first season, like half the second season, and I fell off.
You fell off? Oh, I can't. I don't know why. It's so stupid. It's like a mixture of Bayside High School that leveled up, like they've leveled up in drama, and it's this flashback like with the adults, like Danny LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence. It's like back. They're still in the 80s somewhere.
Yeah.
And then their kids are in the now. And it's ridiculous, but it's just fun.
There are parts of that show where you're like, wow, this is some good acting. And then in the next scene, you're like, did you take a class at any point? Did you forget how to act? Because
did you forget the cameras are on? Or
you have just totally just called it in on that scene. What the hell?
Yeah. And it kind of like I said, it gets ridiculous. Like, I always love those martial arts shows. How after in the real world, it takes decades to become an efficient fighter the way that these guys in the summer have learned to fight.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, and these kids can just take a punch. Like, that's how they practice. They just pop each other like that. There was this one episode where today we're going to learn about headbutting. And you're watching them like headbutt each other. And you're like, dude, this is not going to, no. Am I wrong, Greg? Like, you took enough martial arts classes.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous.
Headbutt your student.
No. Like, yeah, his teaching style, you're like, oh, yeah, you'd have a couple phone calls.
Oh,
for
dude.
sure.
The first one is when that girl walks in.
Yeah.
And he goes, sorry, no girls here. And he's like, Sensei, you can't say that. And he's like, no, it's science. Their bones are hollow. They'll break easy. And you're like, what?
Yeah. They're just the most cringy moments. One show I've wanted to get into, but I just can't bring myself to even start it because it's so long, is Supernatural. Like
you know what? It's so funny you mentioned that. I actually, when that comes on Netflix and they say new season, I'd see it's like 13, 15 seasons.
15 seasons they topped at.
Now, these two guys have to be going, they want to renew it again?
That's exactly what they were like.
Shit.
They were like, they love us that much? Okay.
Yeah.
And they kept upping their contracts. They're like, no, we're going to pay you. Now, that show, the reason that show exists and the reason that Angel got canceled, do you remember Angel back when we were in college watching Angel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They canceled Angel because Supernatural was coming on, and this it was the WB at the time, didn't think that they could support, or like the audience would support, 2 supernatural detective shows. So they canceled Angel because it was more expensive. And I'm guessing, as we're finding out now, the showrunner was a fucking psycho. Joss Whedon. You get oh, come on. Joss Whedon, have you
No, I don't. I'm honest to God, I don't know what you're talking about.
You didn't watch the news at all this week?
No.
Okay.
I'm right there with you, Johnny. I think I missed that too.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I know we're coming up on our time, but guess what?
News break by the Greg.
So here we go. For a long time, Joss Whedon has been accused of. It's the same thing with the Justice League. The
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher, yeah. What he's been accusing Ray Fisher of for a long time, and has been accused of by some people that he ran Buffy and Angel the same way. Charisma Carpenter, who played Cordelia on both Buffy and Angel, came out with a 2-page press release that she could no longer be silent. And straight up said Joss was abusive. He was a bully. He was misogynistic. He would have kind of these low-level insults. When she was pregnant, he would come over and be like, "You're starting to look pretty fat." Like directly, like in front of people saying, "Well, we can't put her in that. She's going to look too fat."
That's always a good way to go.
And she's like,
Jeez.
and she weighs 128 pounds and she's pregnant. And he's like, no. Like, and so I had listened to a Michael Rosenbaum podcast with James Marsters, the guy who played Spike on both Buffy and Angel. Spike was a character that was supposed to be in like 1 or 2 episodes and then never come back. The fan base liked him so much that the WB came to Joss Whedon and said, "You need to keep Spike in the show." He's like, "No, he's a fucking one-off. I don't want him in the show." They're like, "Okay, you need to keep him in the show because we're paying for the show and we are going to make our customers happy.
Right.
Put him back in the show." And so he hated it so much that he at one time slammed Marsters up against the wall. They were backstage or behind the scenes or of the set, pushes him up against the wall and starts yelling and saying, "You were dead. I'm going to fucking kill you. You're fucking dead." And he's talking about Spike.
Yeah.
Like he's going to kill the character off. You're going to get fired. I don't care. And Rosenbaum's like, "And you just let that happen? That like fired you? Like, how did you?" And Marster's like, he's like, "Well, I was a struggling Shakespearean actor." Because at this point, he's like in his 40s or approaching his 40s.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I have a regular job on the #1 TV show in that bracket."
Yeah.
Yeah, he pushed me around. He said this stuff, and I was just use it as fuel for acting.
You know
And
what?
so it's like he was okay with it. He was saying he was okay with it in the interview, and I'm like, bullshit. You're not okay with that.
No, I think that's a really interesting point. Like you're in this like a struggling Shakespearean actor. Now there's 2 questions. There's 2 ways we can go off on this. Number one, I get where he's coming from. Like you're getting a paycheck to do what you love to do the most. Now maybe you didn't want to be. Maybe you wanted to do more Shakespearean, and now you're this goofball of a character that everybody loves, and you will pretty much be known for this the rest of your life, which I don't know if that upsets a Shakespearean actor.
He seemed to be okay with it. I mean, and the other thing was he's like, "How did you put up with that?" He's like, "I could afford," he's like, "I paid off my house. My kids had health insurance. I mean, there was no question in my mind about how valuable this role was." He's like, yeah. So with Charisma Carpenter coming out, and then Amber Benson, who was Willow's love interest in the show. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She said, "Absolutely, all of this stuff is true. He tortured everybody on this set." And then Sarah Michelle Gellar, she didn't really come out with a statement, but she said, "I've moved on in my life. I'm focusing on new things now, but I do stand in support with my fellow actors." So not saying that not coming out with her own experiences against Joss Whedon, but then saying, "I'm supporting my actors that do come out," and the hashtag stand with Ray Fisher was used on all those. And so the only show, I mean, I haven't really heard complaints about. I haven't researched it at all, but nothing public about like any of the Firefly cast coming out and saying that he was a douche. But seems pretty clear. This guy.
Yeah, if enough people say it, and it's from different
shows, different eras,
different studios and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm sure.
So
I'm sure it's true. Yeah, that sucks.
We'll look that up. I mean, it was kind of all over. Well, when I say in the news feeds, I'm talking about my Twitter feed, my Google News, social media kind of stuff. I didn't see it. Well, Maybe I saw it on like a TMZ or like an entertainment show or something like that, but I didn't see it on like the 5 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's insane.
Marshall,
Yes,
you want to play
sir.
the gauntlet?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you sure?
Oh,
All right. Because I haven't even looked at these questions, sir, so I have no idea what's up.
they can get lewd, but I think you know that by now.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. First and foremost, once a scorpion sheds its tail in battle, the 8-legged arachnid is as good as dead. What causes the deadly scorpion to perish so quickly? Is it A, the open wound exposes them to infection? B, most of their bodily functions are controlled by the tail? C, they die in the hands of predators? Or D, they die of constipation?
I'd probably my first cut would be like the predators because they're pretty much defenseless at that point, minus their pincers. But yeah, I would say C.
All right, so C is your final answer.
Yeah.
All right. It is they die of constipation.
Like they lose their butthole, right?
They lose their butthole so they can't poop. But you would think if you lose your butt, I guess you lose the muscles to push it out.
I know it's a bug. Does it have muscles like that?
I'm
Yeah.
assuming it has some sort of a muscle if it
Whatever.
can move.
Whatever it is, whatever it is, the function that controls the expulsion
goes with
of
the tail.
solid waste.
Yeah, it goes with the tail. Yeah. All right. So, Marshall, good news is you're 0 for 1. All right. Over 250,000 kids across the world do this before turning 18. Is it A, have sex, B, join the military, C, run away from home, or D, start a YouTube channel?
All right, what's the percentage?
That's over 250,000 kids across the United States. Across the world. Sorry, across the world. I would
Wow.
have gotten this.
Well, I know my son is always trying to, start his own YouTube channel, so I'll go with the YouTube channel.
That would be incorrect. It is actually join the military.
Okay.
I didn't think that. I would have got that wrong. But this is across the world, and I know in some worlds, the minute you're 18 or the minute you're 17,
Yeah, you're in the military.
You're in the military. That you have no choice.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a trick question. Here we go.
Yeah, that's a trick question. We'll go with that one.
Yeah. 2 heads are typically better than 1, unless you're talking about the head tucked into your pants. How many known cases of diaphilia, being born with 2 penises, are in the world? Is it
Get 2 wieners?
Yeah, hang on. So what are they asking here? How many known cases of having 2 penises are there in the world? Is it A, 50, B, 75, C, 100, D, 150?
Oh, good God.
Yeah. So how many times has it happened where you had 2 penises? Not you personally, Marshall, just how many you think of?
yeah. I think once is enough, but geez.
Can't handle the one I got.
We'll go with C. I forgot the amount, but I'm going to go with C.
You are correct, sir. 100 people have had this happen to them. So the first thing I thought of, which I can go a million different directions with this, but the first thing I thought of is, do they both pee at the same time, or is it different?
I kind of wonder if it's like
One's dead or just one's there type of thing.
Well, when you see like the 2-headed snake or turtle, and it's like you got the main head, and then there's like that little kind of a nubbin coming off the side or something.
Like a nubbin type thing.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know if like from the base where you got 2 full
full-fledged
peni.
Yeah. Well, this isn't a family show. We can Google it if you really.
Go ahead and Google that, John.
I think I might, Greg, but I have to do
None
questions.
of my history.
Oh, see, we need another producer to come on.
We do. We need somebody to throw
Danny, if you're listening, do you want to come on and Google double wieners for us?
Yeah. Or Marshall, we can not really hire.
Come on.
Yeah, we can just have you come on.
Erica won't get mad at me for that at all.
Yeah.
No.
Clara Meadmore lived to be 108 and died with this distinction: the world's oldest working stripper, the world's oldest cocktail waitress, the world's oldest virgin or the world's oldest construction worker?
And what was her name again?
Clara Meadmore.
Oh, I thought you said need more. I'm like, that sounds like a stripper then.
Yeah.
Um,
Sounds like a Bond
geez.
too.
Yeah.
Bond girl. Sorry, Bond girl. Pushy galore.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Virgin.
You are correct, sir.
Ooh.
Ooh, wow.
You are correct. Nice job. All right,
Sweet.
man. You're either gonna go 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5. Here we go.
Here we go.
It usually takes about 10 minutes for this to happen. Is it A, fall in love with someone? B, die in a fire? C, drowned? D, change a person's mind about something? Talk about a broad brush.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all over the place.
Keep thinking about it, Marshall. I'm going to be looking up 2 penises. What's it actually called? It's called diaphilia.
Jeez.
God, I hope I don't get flagged by somebody.
Yeah, right.
What's that windowless van sitting outside of John's house now?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Diaphilia disorder images. That's what we're looking for, boys.
Please don't share that on the screen.
Oh. Like, you don't want to see it. Oh, it's for everywhere too. It's like there's a Cyclops baby here. There's a kid with claw hands. There's 2 anuses. All
You've
right.
looked up the Weekly World News?
It seems like I have.
Okay.
It's just there's 2 sausages. All right, that's enough. I've
Sorry.
seen it. They're
Stop
not
that,
pretty,
Brett.
both of them. They're not pretty. But okay.
Stop that rabbit hole. What's the answer to this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Answer
Right.
this. Let me say it again because I kind of probably threw
yeah.
everybody off. It
Yeah.
usually takes about 10 minutes for this to happen. Is it A, fall in love with someone? B, die in a fire? C, drowned? D, change a person's mind about something?
I'll go with change a person's mind about something.
You would be correct. I mean, I'm sorry. You would be incorrect. It is drown.
What if I change your mind?
There you go. You're not drowning.
10 minutes to drown, huh?
Takes 10 minutes to drown.
Yeah, 'cause that's a long
That's a
death
really
right
long,
there.
painful time. I thought it takes, or maybe maybe they're talking
By the
scientific.
time you're, by the time
I
you're,
think you black
you can't
out
be
within
rescued
like 2 minutes.
anymore.
Yeah. I think without like 2 minutes, you black out and that's it.
I've heard
Yeah.
somebody was talking about, it was an actress talking about learning how to hold her breath for a really long time. I think it was Nicole Kidman. She had a role where she needed it. And she was working with a guy. She's like, the holding your breath part, like everybody can actually hold their breath for like 4 minutes, like untrained. It's just the idea of like fighting through the pain and everything else.
The panic.
The pain and the
yeah.
panic. He's like, but when you're underwater, you don't have a choice. So you just kind of deal with it. He's like, it hurts like a mother, but you just deal with that. So maybe there's 4 minutes out of your 10. But anyway, I'm not going to try it.
Way to go. Yeah.
You never tried that when you were a kid in a pool?
Sure I did.
Held onto the railing and went underwater?
Still the safety factor of I can come back up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oof.
All right, Marshall. Way to go through the gauntlet there.
Yeah.
Not easy, is it?
No, I do it just as bad as when I'm kind of following along with the podcast. So yeah.
Well, we, as always, man, we really appreciate you listening to us. At least there's one person out there that I know is listening to us. For those of you that have been listening to this, if any of you have any suggestions on who you think the new Wolverine should be, let us know. If it's anybody from Bollywood, let us know.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think we're good, gentlemen. I think we're already an hour into this. Flew by, didn't it, Marshall?
It did, yeah. But I just want to thank you guys both. I appreciate you guys, offering me to be on this show. Like I said, you make my daily drives every week a joy, and it's great to talk to you guys in person and live. First of all, because you can't talk back to the podcast. So it's nice.
Well, you can. It just
Anything you want to yell at us right now about that you've been like, damn it, I couldn't get to them in this time. Anything?
Yeah. I like to say to you, Johnny, is hanging with those Bears.
We're getting that a lot, Greg.
Yeah.
I guess I pissed off some people with the whole "I'm done with the Bears."
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I
I'm not.
got a lot of text messages. I got a lot of our guest last week. He was like, "Dude, why would you give up on him?"
Why would you not?
Yeah,
So,
Yeah, I told you, it's part of the pain, part of the process. But
I get it, man. I get it. But I look at the Bears. I look at football now. It's not like in the '80s or even the early '90s where it was like once you draft that player, they're there forever.
no.
It is now. They don't care about you. I mean, they don't care about that organization or that organization. It's a corporation now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're done with you. They're done with you. Hey, Marshall, you're a football fan, correct? And Greg, here's something I want to throw at you too. Actually,
Yeah.
what do you guys think
Yeah.
of these Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson all of a sudden like demanding change or they're gone?
you know,
Go
they
ahead,
can talk all
Marshall.
they want to, but they can talk all they want to, but it's that what they're like everyone else. They're expendable. They may be great players, but you're there with the organization, so you have to follow their lead.
What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, kind of the same way. I mean, you're going up against owners that have been there forever. I mean, I think they're trying to change the culture a little bit of like how the front office works, of saying, hey, we're the talent.
Yeah,
You guys are building things based off of us.
yeah,
These are the changes we want to see. And I think these owners are going to be like, come into my office, look at my front door. What's the nameplate on the front door say? You work for me. And I think that's going to be the end of it. And if they go somewhere else, then they go somewhere else. I mean, that's like you said, that's the nature of the business. And we saw that this week with JJ Watt. He had
JJ,
a conversation with the owner saying, look, his clock is ticking. I mean, he's been in the league for 10 years now and has had numerous injuries, and he wants to get on a team that can get him a championship. And that's not and that's just not the Titans like anytime soon.
You mean the
He's like,
Texans?
or the Texans?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, Houston. He's like, I'm not here to reload. I'm not here to rebuild. Like I did that already.
Yeah.
I need to get on a team that can put a ring on my finger.
Well, with Watt, I understand. I mean, he's given 10 years of his body to that organization. And so I understand him going like, guys, I probably got 2, maybe 3 years tops left in this body. So let me go to a contender. I get that. So wherever he picks, I think he's going to Pittsburgh because both of his brothers play for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that if I had brothers, I'd want to go to their team and play because not a lot of people get to do that. You just don't.
That would be special. That would be special.
Yeah.
As much as I want to see him in green and gold, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's a great way to end his career with his brother, with his family.
Yeah. My opinion is okay with Watson. It feels like I don't want to play here anymore because I'm going to lose. That's what it feels like to me because 4 months ago he signed a contract. 4 months ago he did this. And then all of a sudden his team now if his team would have went 11-5 when they were in the playoffs, would he have been bitching and moaning? I don't know. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like this is when they traded away his best player. This is when him and the coach weren't doing eye to eye. He still signed that contract. And then 4 months later, he's like, I don't want to play here anymore. That rubs me the wrong way. And Seattle, look, Russell, I love you, man. I think you're a great quarterback. You're very fun to watch. But half the time you get hit, it's because you don't get rid of the ball. You hold on to it and you run around like an idiot. Get rid of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
No one's telling you. And he sits there on Dan Patrick's show, and he sits there and throws his lineman under the bus. Like, good luck walking into an OTA and saying, hey, man, the thing I said to Dan Patrick, I was just upset. I don't really think you guys are bad.
They'll send him a message or two.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They only
long.
prolong your life. Like, treat those 5 guys like gold. And plus, I think it was charted that he holds onto the ball longer than any other quarterback in the NFL. So shut up, Russell, and like, dude, because your Legion of Boom buddies aren't there and you can't ride the coattails of that defense anymore. Now you're upset.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess we know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think we'll end it there. Marshall, thank you as always for listening to us and being our guest. This is fun. You should get on again and we'll talk. We'll see. Maybe we'll get you back on when they actually cast Wolverine.
Yeah.
Give us thumbs up or thumbs down.
I think we need to get like a panel.
I
maybe
agree.
Marshall, maybe Matt, maybe one other person.
Yeah.
Get a couple
We should
people
start
on here.
opening up local discussions over WandaVision or the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Whatever.
maybe.
Yeah, figure something out.
We'll brainstorm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Greg. Any last words, Greg?
Oh, same as always. Going through your week. If you're in the upper Midwest, well, actually anywhere in the central United States right now, it's cold. You are colder than you have been in a long time. So while you're out there complaining about the cold, don't be a douche.
And don't join a cult.
And don't.
All right. For Marshall and the Greg, this is Johnny saying, podcast out, people. Take care. Good night.
See you guys.
Yeah.